finding a person who is willing to tell you state secrets, willing to risk their life to give away the secrets that they were entrusted with. That is a rare person to find. It is hard to find, but if you can find a spy, if you can find a traitor, you can make a sale.
Todo mundo tem segredos, e a maioria deles são segredos que nós preferimos não contar para ninguém, até mesmo para aquela pessoa mais íntima nas nossas vidas. Se contar o seu próprio segredo pessoal já é bastante complicado, imagina um segredo do Estado que levaria até a pena de morte. André Bustamanté é o espião reformado da CIA que usa as suas diversas habilidades reservadas apenas para agentes secretos para ensinar qualquer pessoa a conseguir sucesso na vida e nos negócios. Ele transformou uma técnica ultrassecreta que a CIA usa para obter informações confidenciais de qualquer país em uma ferramenta para impulsionar as vendas de qualquer negócio. Acredita nisso? No vídeo de hoje ele vai nos ensinar a técnica utilizada pelo serviço de inteligência mais poderosa do mundo para obter informações de qualquer pessoa e como aplicar isso para impulsionar as suas vendas independente do negócio. Estás preparado?
You've had a lot of recent success in business, with your company Everyday Spy and other ventures that you've been involved in. What are some of the fundamental skills that you find yourself transferring directly from your CIA experience every day when you're closing business?
At CIA, there's a saying at CIA that I realized is also a saying in business that I didn't realize until afterwards, and it's called kissing a lot of frogs. Mm-hmm. And it's a salesmanship term outside of CIA, where it means that you have to call a lot of leads, you have to shake a lot of hands, you have to make a lot of pitches before one of them turns into a prince, right? At CIA, we have the same concept, but for a different reason. Because finding a person who is willing to tell you state secrets, willing to risk their life to give away the secrets that they were entrusted with, that's what an actual asset does, right? When CIA sends a field officer to, you name the country, when they recruit an asset from that country, what they are actually recruiting is a foreign national who is a local of that country, who has access to state secrets, who is willing to share those state secrets in exchange for something else. Money, alcohol, pornography, you name it, right? Who knows what they're after? But your job is to find the person who has secrets and give the person the thing that they want in exchange for those secrets. That is a rare person to find. It is hard to find a willing collaborator from a foreign country who has access to secrets and is willing to share those secrets with you in exchange for some kind of remuneration. Very, very difficult to find. But if you can find a spy, if you can find a traitor, you can make a sale, right? The two skills are incredibly interconnected. So what I found is that the process and the skills that we use to find an asset translate immediately into business. Everything from how you talk to the person so that you can identify their core motivations, gaining perspective over that person's position in life. If you can gain the perspective of your customers, you already know what your customer's thinking. You already know what they want. You already know what their problems are. You know what their problems are going to be because you can sit in their shoes, but they can't sit in your shoes, which gives you the advantage. So the process in espionage is a process called SADRAT, S-A-D-R-A-T. Very similar to the RICE acronym I gave you earlier. SADRAT is a process of human intelligence conversion or collection. The SADRAT process is actually the foundation to my company's sales process. All of our marketing for digital sales, all of our human interactions, all of our upselling and everything else, all falls into the same SADRAT process that I learned at CIA, only we use it for sales and we use it for marketing.
SADRAT.
SADRAT stands for spot, assess, develop, recruit, handle, and terminate. That's what SADRAT stands for. And in classic US government acronym jargon, handle starts with an H, but in the acronym we use the letter A. Spot, assess, develop, recruit, handle, terminate. Spot means you find a potential client, right? Recruit means you sell that client on your product in exchange for your product in exchange for their money, right? Assess is a step that we use at CIA to determine whether or not somebody will be a good, productive client. Oftentimes in sales, people skip that step.
Yeah.
They don't think about a good, productive customer. A good, productive customer has lifetime customer value. A good, productive customer turns into referrals, turns into positive reviews and positive ratings. They have infinite value more than just the money they give you in exchange for your service. Assess is a critical piece in the CIA recruitment process. It's also a very important piece in my company.
I'll tell you something which kind of validates that from my own experience before we continue on that point of assess. In the first couple of years of my first company, we would just take any customer. And when we looked at our financial record for the previous year, what we noticed was that there was a cohort of customers that were exceptionally valuable. And even though we'd won business with this other set of customers, we were actually losing money because they were only lasting for a month.
Yep.
So we made this sort of framework to determine the customers that we should actually say no to, basically, as you say, based on their lifetime value. And we figured out that there's a certain type of brand that has a certain size budget, that has a certain number of employees, that is trying to solve a certain type of problem that would be exceptionally profitable for us. So when we got the inquiries coming through our website, we were now looking at the inquiries through that lens and measuring them through that lens, because it became so clear that all of our best customers fit into the sort of top right of this sort of Venn diagram. And that's what I hear when you say assess. And it was absolutely game-changing for our business. But most entrepreneurs will just take every customer and they think of all of them as having the same potential in lifetime value.
Exactly. You just nailed the word, game-changing. You can play the game by just selling to anybody. But if you want to change the game, you have to make sure that you're selling to a very deliberate cohort of customers, because those customers not only yield more revenue per customer, but they bring in more customers like them. Which is where you get an exponential level of not revenue, but profit. Just like you said, you talked about a very profitable group of clients, not a high revenue group of clients. So when you focus the conversation on profit instead of revenue, and you focus it on the right customer instead of just customer, it's game changing for your company.
So you would assess targets in the CIA for using the same sort of framework?
Yep, using the same framework, because in recruitment operations, what you're looking for is people who will be good assets. In the business framework, what you're looking for is people who will be good customers. An asset and a customer are almost the same thing, right? A customer is the most important asset of a company. And what does a customer do? A customer provides something of value in exchange for something they want. What does an asset do? They provide something of value in exchange for something they want. So it's really a one-for-one comparison as long as you understand the language of espionage and the language of business. So what we did in espionage is every time you're trying to develop a source, you're always asking yourself the question, will this source be a good, reliable asset in the future? Will they do what we tell them to do? Will they be able to provide information in the long term, not just once or twice, right? Is the information they provide high value information? It's the same thing you're doing with a customer. Will this customer do what I tell them to do? Will this customer provide high levels of value? Will this customer last for a long time?
É incrível ver como as habilidades de espionagem se aplicam aos negócios. A ideia de persistir mesmo quando enfrentamos rejeições é fundamental tanto para vender quanto para recrutar informantes. Avaliar clientes pelo valor que trarão a longo prazo destaca a importância de focar nos melhores clientes. É como na espionagem, por exemplo, onde os informantes devem ser confiáveis e consistentes. Adaptar o processo de inteligência humana para vendas mostra como podemos construir relacionamentos sólidos. No geral, isso mostra como as habilidades de persuasão e inteligência são úteis em diferentes contextos nas nossas vidas e vendas, negócios, etc. Tamo junto.